Hello, my friend. It's so good to have you here with me tonight. As you lie in the quiet darkness, far from the waking world, I'd like to take you on a journey deep into the hidden heart of the Amazon rainforest, a place where secret rivers flow beneath the earth, and ancient mists drift like slow dreams through the canopy. So let your body soften into the mattress, feel the gentle cradle of your pillow, and allow your thoughts to wander, like a leaf floating on still water. Shall we begin? Tonight, I'll share with you a handful of quiet wonders, secrets the rainforest keeps beneath its emerald roof. Each one is a small, soothing discovery, and it's perfectly okay if you drift away before we finish. That's exactly what this time is for. If these gentle moments help you unwind, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe. That way, I can be here for you whenever you need a soft, familiar voice in the dark. Now, let's begin.
Imagine the great Amazon River, broad and brown, winding slowly through the jungle, and far below it, in the deep, silent layers of the earth, another river glides unseen. It's called the Hamza, a subterranean stream that mirrors the path of the river above, stretching nearly as long but flowing through porous rock rather than open air. The water moves with a slowness that feels almost like breathing, seeping, filtering, never rushing. It's a quiet twin hidden from the sun, carrying ancient water through the cool, dark stillness. This hidden flow reminds us that even beneath the world we think we know, there are patient currents moving, gentle and eternal.
Now let your mind drift to the flooded forests, where the waters rise and weave among the trees, creating a sunken world of dappled light. In these submerged groves, the pink river dolphin moves with a grace that feels almost otherworldly. Its skin is a soft rosy blush, like the color of early dawn, and its neck, unusually flexible, turns gently as it glides between tangled roots. Unlike the dolphins of the open sea, this creature doesn't leap or splash. It simply weaves, slow and thoughtful, through the mirrored corridors of the forest. Watching it from a distance, you might feel a deep sense of calm, as if it were guiding you through a watery dream, silent and serene.
High above the forest floor, where the leaves meet the sky, a different kind of river gathers each day. The trees breathe out invisible plumes of moisture, billions of tons of water vapor, and these countless breaths merge into vast, drifting currents known as the flying rivers. They are rivers of air, not land, and they carry more water than the Amazon itself. Imagine a soft, airborne ocean, suspended in the warm atmosphere, traveling thousands of miles to bring gentle rains to distant hills and plains. It's a cycle of giving, a slow exhale from the living forest that touches faraway lives, all while you lie here, safe and still, listening to the quiet.
In the still lagoons where the water lies like a sheet of polished glass, the Victoria Amazonica lily spreads its enormous leaves. Each one is a perfect green disc, rimmed with a delicate, upturned edge, as if sculpted by patient hands over centuries. They float there, serene and unbothered, spanning 10 feet or more, wide enough that a small child could sit upon one and be held, cradled by a living raft. The underside is a web of sturdy ribs, hidden from view, offering a quiet strength that belies the leaf's fragile appearance. In the moonlight, these floating circles might look like stepping stones across a dream, inviting you to cross, but only if you were light enough to be carried by a whisper. Long before our time, the people of the Amazon shaped the earth with a gentle wisdom. They created a soil so rich and dark that it still nourishes the forest today, terra preta, the black earth. It was made by blending charcoal, bone, and compost in a kind of quiet alchemy, transforming the poor jungle ground into a cradle of life. Gardens bloomed softly in these pockets of dark soil, feeding communities without harming the wild around them. Even now, centuries later, that ancient earth remains fertile, a silent gift from the past, reminding us that we can live in harmony, leaving behind only kindness in the soil, as soft as a lullaby.
Imagine standing in the heart of the rainforest, looking upward. The canopy layer forms a soft green ceiling above you, a living mosaic of leaves that filters the golden sunlight into a dim, emerald glow. Up there, in that high sanctuary, countless species of colorful birds find refuge, macaws with feathers like painted silk, toucans with their gentle, oversized beaks, and tiny hummingbirds that hover like jeweled whispers. And among them, the sloths move with such deliberate slowness, as if time itself has softened. They drift through the branches in a timeless slumber, their fur hosting a quiet world of algae and moths, a hidden ecosystem within the leaves. The air up there is warm and still, scented with the faint perfume of distant flowers, a nurturing glow that protects the world below.
But beneath that emerald ceiling, the forest holds even more quiet wonders. Deep within the Amazon, there is a vast and ancient pharmacy hidden in plain sight. For countless generations, indigenous healers have walked these paths, their hands brushing against leaves that hold the secrets to soothing the body. These quiet botanical treasures offer gentle remedies, the essence of a leaf that eases a fever, the bark of a tree that settles a troubled stomach, the fragrant resin that, when burned, clears the mind and calms the spirit. It's a knowledge passed down through stories and songs, a whispered wisdom that the forest itself seems to hum. Each plant is a silent guardian, a soft, living promise of healing that has endured for centuries, waiting patiently to be understood. And down by the water's edge, where the forest floor meets the slow-moving river, you might find another peaceful soul. The capybara, the world's largest rodent, lives here in gentle communities, their days a quiet rhythm of rest and motion. Imagine them, half submerged in the warm currents, their round, soft bodies barely making a ripple, eyes half closed in contentment. They drift like living stones, perfectly at ease, occasionally nibbling on the tender grass that grows at the waterline. On the bank, they gather in groups, resting on the soft, damp grass, their coats glistening with moisture. There is no hurry here, only the slow, steady pulse of life, a quiet reminder that peace is a natural state.
All of this, the canopy, the plants, the creatures, is part of a greater rhythm. The rainforest breathes for the planet. With every leaf, every frond, it breathes in, absorbing vast amounts of carbon, that invisible weight we release into the air. Then, in a slow, steady exhale, it releases fresh oxygen, a life-giving stream that travels across the globe. This rhythmic respiration, day after day, season after season, creates a balanced atmosphere, a protective, invisible blanket that wraps the world in a gentle embrace. It's a silent partnership, a gift given freely, asking nothing in return but to be left to its timeless work. The forest breathes, and so the planet breathes, a continuous, soothing cycle that has sustained life for millennia.
And as night falls, the forest transforms. The visual world fades into a velvety darkness, and a new world awakens, one of sound and scent. A symphony of soft whispers begins, the rhythmic hum of insects, the distant, melodic call of a night bird, the gentle rustle of leaves swaying in the midnight breeze. The air becomes warm and fragrant, filled with the intoxicating perfume of night-blooming orchids, their pale petals glowing faintly in the darkness. It's a sensory lullaby, a quiet celebration of life that continues unseen. You can almost feel the forest breathing around you, a soft, living presence that cradles the night, inviting you to drift off into your own peaceful slumber. Close your eyes and let your imagination drift into the heart of the Amazon, where even the ground beneath your feet hides stories older than memory. Deep beneath the forest floor, there is a river you cannot see, the Xingu River, flowing over an ancient geological formation, a hidden seam in the Earth's quiet memory. Scientists believe that millions of years ago, the entire Amazon basin tilted slowly, and the great river once flowed in the opposite direction, a gentle, continent-wide drift that reshaped the world without a sound. Imagine the water dark and silent, tracing a path backward through time, carrying the whispers of a landscape that no human eyes have ever seen. And in those same waters, where the forest meets the river, there lives a creature of gentle mystery, the pink river dolphin, called the bodo. Unlike its ocean cousins, the bodo has a flexible neck that allows it to turn and glide gracefully between submerged tree trunks, as if dancing through a sunken forest. These dolphins are woven into local folklore as shapeshifters. It is said that on moonlit nights, they emerge from the warm, dark water and walk among the villages in human form, their pink skin glowing softly under the stars. a reminder that the line between the real and the magical is as fluid as the river itself. But the Amazon hides its history not just in water, but in the very soil. Hidden within the dense canopy, there are patches of earth so dark and rich they seem almost alive, the terra preta, or black earth. These soils were created by prehistoric civilizations, people who lived in harmony with the forest, enriching the ground with charcoal and organic matter centuries ago. And what is so remarkable is that these ancient man-made soils remain fertile to this day, a quiet, enduring gift from a sophisticated society that left no stone temples, only this dark, whispering soil that still nurtures the greenery around it. And on the quiet backwaters, where the current slows to a lazy drift, you might glimpse the giant water lily, Victoria amazonica. Its floating leaves can grow up to 10 feet across, with a network of ribs beneath so strong that they can support the weight of a small child resting on the water's surface, as if nature had woven a cradle. The blossoms are a story of two nights. They open first in a soft, luminous white, releasing a delicate fragrance, and then, as the second evening falls, they blush into a tender pink before sinking gently back beneath the surface. A quiet transformation, too subtle to startle, too beautiful to forget. High above all this, the canopy breathes. Through a process called transpiration, billions of trees release water vapor into the air, so much that the forest creates its own weather. This vapor gathers into vast, invisible rivers of mist that float across the continent, flying rivers that carry moisture to distant fields and mountains, gently watering lands far beyond the Amazon. So even as you drift towards sleep, you might imagine those silent rivers of mist passing overhead, connecting the forest to the farthest corners of the world, a soft, life-giving breath that never ends. And as you listen, let these images settle into your mind like leaves on still water. The ancient river flowing backward in time, the pink dolphin dancing in the moonlit shallows, the dark earth holding centuries of kindness, the giant lily blushing through the night, and the forest breathing mist into the sky. All of it, a gentle lullaby from a world that asks only to be imagined, softly as you drift away. Imagine, if you will, a bird that seems to have slipped from the pages of an ancient storybook, the hoatzin. It perches along quiet waterways, its plumage a subtle blend of earthy browns and soft golden streaks, and there is a gentle wildness in its gaze. Now, if you could peer closer at the nest, you would see something that echoes a time long before memory. The chicks possess small, delicate claws at the bend of their wings. These little hooks, almost like tiny hands, allow them to grip the bark and climb slowly, thoughtfully, through the branches. It is as if the deep past is still whispering through their movements, a lineage stretching back to an era when the line between bird and dinosaur was a soft, hazy dawn. And as they settle back into the nest, tucking those remarkable claws beneath their downy feathers, you can almost feel the weight of millions of quiet years settling gently over them. Hidden among the tangled vines and deep, velvet shadows, something else is quietly, almost imperceptibly moving: the walking palm. It does not uproot itself and stride across the forest floor, but something far more patient and delicate. It can slowly shift its position by growing new roots in the direction of the softest, most nurturing sunlight, while letting its older roots decay behind. Year by year, it drifts perhaps only a few centimeters, a silent traveler on a journey across a single lifetime. To us, it would appear as still as stone, but to the forest, it is a living, breathing wanderer, following the graceful arc of the light that filters through the canopy. It is a reminder that even in the deepest stillness, life is in gentle, persistent motion. As dusk settles deeper and the shadows pool like cool water beneath the trees, another secret begins to awaken. The rainforest shelters an incredible variety of fungi, and among them, tiny bioluminescent mushrooms begin to cast their soft, ethereal glow. It is a light that doesn't startle or shine, it simply breathes. A cool, otherworldly luminescence in the midnight understory, as if the ground itself has caught a few fallen stars. These tiny lanterns guide nocturnal insects through the velvet darkness, a silent conversation between root and beetle, spore and moth. If you could lie on the mossy earth and watch, you would see a constellation not in the sky, but at your fingertips, a quiet galaxy that only opens its eyes when the rest of the world has closed theirs. And if the forest reveals itself through light, it also speaks through scent. The air in the Amazon is filled with a living symphony of aromas, deep, rich, and ever-changing. There is the sweet, heavy perfume of wild orchids, a fragrance so thick and honeyed it almost tastes like a memory on your tongue. Then, drifting lower, the earthy, comforting aroma of damp moss and rich soil, the very breath of the thriving earth. These fragrances float on the warm, slow-moving breeze, mingling and separating, creating a sensory blanket that wraps around you as gently as sleep itself. Every inhalation is a story of blooming, decay, and renewal, a soft reminder that you are resting inside a vast, breathing body of life. As evening finally claims the day, a profound visual transformation takes place above. The canopy, which moments ago was a mosaic of green and gold, now becomes a sea of deep emerald and sapphire shadows, layer upon soft layer of deepening color. The rhythmic humming of cicadas begins to rise, a steady, pulsing heartbeat for the night, while far in the distance, the melodic, haunting calls of howler monkeys drift across the treetops. It is not a sudden noise, but a slow, soothing lullaby that settles over the vast green expanse like a comforting quilt. The whole world seems to exhale, sinking deeper into the velvet darkness, and you are right there with it, floating on the gentle current of sound and shadow. Hey, still floating along with me? That's perfectly okay. The forest has already wrapped you in its quiet, and you don't have to follow any further. But if your eyes are still gently resting, I have so many more of these hidden whispers to share with you. And if you're enjoying this journey, a like helps other night owls find their way here too. As the final threads of twilight dissolve, the stories of the Hotsun, the walking palm, and the glowing mushrooms all become part of the same deep, dreaming darkness. The scent of orchids fades into the memory of your pillow, and the cicada's lullaby continues, steady and soft. You are safe here, surrounded by the quiet miracles of a world that asks nothing of you but to rest. Deep beneath the forest floor, hidden far below the roots of ancient trees, flows the Hamza River. This is not a river of light and air, but a slow, silent current moving through porous rock, a quiet twin to the mighty Amazon above. It stretches for thousands of kilometers, wider in places than its sunlit sister, yet nobody sees it, only feels its deep, gentle pull in the dark, warm heart of the earth. Imagine floating in that underground stream, surrounded by complete stillness, while above you, the pink river dolphin, the bodo, glides through moonlit waters. These dolphins are different from the dolphins of the open sea. Their necks are flexible, bending softly so they can weave between submerged branches and trunks without a ripple. Local voices say the bodo are not just animals, but magical beings that drift through flooded forests at night. And if you listen very quietly, you might just sense their presence in the mist. High above in the canopy, where the air is warm and the leaves never stop breathing, the giant fluff-necked owl rests on a moss-covered branch. Its feathers are fringed with soft edges that hush every whisper of movement, so when it lifts into the night, there is no sound at all, just a silent shape passing through the trees like a thought. In the dim glow of the moon, its mottled plumage blends perfectly with the bark. 16 and the forest sleeps on, undisturbed. Even the soil beneath this great green world holds 16 secrets. Long before our time, ancient people crafted a special earth called terra preta, dark, fertile, and rich with charcoal and broken pottery, a gift they left sleeping in the ground. Today, this peaceful soil still nourishes the jungle, a quiet reminder of gardens that bloomed here centuries ago, tended by hands that knew the rhythms of the river and the rain. And on the still surface of the water, the Victoria amazonica lily spreads its enormous leaves like wide green islands. Each one grows up to 3 meters across, strong enough to hold a child, yet 16 so gentle it barely dimples the mirror of the lake. The first night its blossom opens in pure, soft white. By the second evening, it blushes a delicate pink, then slowly folds, sinking back into dreams. All these wonders drift together through the quiet depths of the Amazon, waiting for the moonlight to touch them. High above the forest floor, where the warm, humid mists drift like soft veils through the treetops, epiphytes such as orchids and bromeliads make their homes on the branches of ancient, towering trees. These air plants never touch the soil, instead drawing every precious drop of moisture from the floating clouds that gently caress them. Their delicate roots reach out into the air, capturing the soft mists that rise from the breathing earth below. Together, they form floating gardens, tiny hanging worlds that offer quiet refuge to miniature frogs and drowsy insects seeking shelter from the open sky. It is a realm of silent growth, hidden among the leaves, where life unfolds in the slowest and most peaceful of breaths, a secret sanctuary suspended high above the world. The forest and all its trees act as a giant, breathing lung for the entire planet. Through a process called transpiration, it releases a soft veil of moisture into the atmosphere, a gentle exhale that rises from every leaf and branch. This moisture gathers into vast flowing currents of water vapor, known as flying rivers, which drift across the continent with quiet, deliberate purpose. These invisible streams carry life-giving rain to distant lands, nourishing fields and forests far beyond the canopy's edge. It is a slow, endless cycle of giving, connecting the deep green heart of the forest to the wider world in a soft, sustaining embrace that brings gentle rains to sleeping landscapes. Imagine this: high in the canopy, a sloth moves with a slow, rhythmic grace, spending its life suspended in the warm embrace of the trees. Their gentle, unhurried pace mirrors the peaceful rhythm of the cloud forests, each deliberate motion a meditation in stillness. These quiet creatures often host a small, symbiotic world within their fur, where algae grows, giving them a soft, greenish glow that. Deep beneath the forest floor lies a hidden river, the Hamza, a massive subterranean waterway flowing slowly under the Amazon. Imagine the weight of the ancient earth above, miles of soil and stone, and within that darkness, water moving with a patience that defies time. This silent twin of the great Amazon above drifts through the earth's layers thousands of feet below, a quiet pulse of life known only to the deep. It is roughly the same length as the river we see, but it flows in secret, a sleeping vein of the planet. Its waters so still you could almost believe they are the earth's own slow, dreaming thoughts. In the flooded forests, there lives a creature of soft wonder, the pink river dolphin, the boto. With a flexible neck unlike other dolphins, it glides gracefully through the labyrinth of submerged trees, its rosy hue a gentle brushstroke against the dark water. Local folklore whispers that these dolphins are shapeshifters, wandering the riverbanks under the soft glow of the moon, moving between worlds as easily as the mist. They are guardians of a dreamy realm, where the boundary between animal and spirit blurs into the night. You might imagine catching a glimpse of one, just a flicker of pink beneath the moon-silvered surface, before it melts back into the shadow of the flooded trees. Long before our modern world, ancient civilizations crafted a remarkable soil, terra preta, or Amazonian dark earth. This rich, dark soil was made by human hands, mixed with charcoal and pottery, and it still holds its fertility after centuries. Imagine walking through a forest where the ground beneath your feet remembers the touch of ancient gardeners, feeding life from a buried past. The Terra Preta suggests that vast, organized societies once lived here in harmony with the jungle, their legacy a quiet hum beneath the roots. Even now, this man-made earth continues to give life, a gentle gift passed down through time, a reminder that the forest has always been a garden, tended by unseen hands. Look now to the still lagoons where the Victoria Amazonica unfurls its giant lily pads. These floating leaves can reach 10 feet across, resting so peacefully on the mirrored water that they seem like green islands meant for dreaming. A small child could sit upon one and drift slowly, carried by the gentle current, as if the lagoon itself had offered a cradle. The surface reflects the sky and the canopy, a perfect circle of stillness in a world of soft green light. Around it, tiny drops of water bead on the lily's upturned rim, like glass marbles catching the last amber rays of the fading sun. High in the emerald canopy, the Hoatzin bird rests unseen, It has a unique way of digesting leaves, fermenting them like a gentle bovine, which gives off a warm, earthy scent, a subtle aroma that rises through the foliage. These prehistoric-looking birds spend their days dozing among the leaves, their feathers blending into the quiet greenery. They are like relics from an older, slower world, humming with the quiet industry.
Imagine, if you will, the vast Amazon basin stretching out like a great green heart in the center of the world. Deep within its embrace, something invisible and wonderful is always happening. The forest acts as a giant, gentle biological pump, releasing billions of tons of water vapor into the air every single day. This is not just humidity, it's a living, breathing mist that rises up to form what are called flying rivers. These aerial waterways drift across the continent, carrying soft, nourishing rain to distant hills and valleys, connecting the land in a gentle, watery web of life. And hidden among the roots and dark, quiet waters, there is a flower of fleeting beauty, the giant Amazonian lily. It blooms for only 2 nights, and on that first night, its petals open as a pure, snowy white, glowing like a moonlit lantern in the stillness. By the second night, it has transformed into a soft pink, a delicate blush, as it calls to the specialized beetles that are its nighttime companions. They come, drawn by a quiet, fragrant dance, a secret ritual that has repeated for ages, unseen and undisturbed. Imagine the silent, almost sacred exchange in the darkest hour, a whisper of nature's gentle persistence. Below the surface, beneath the fallen leaves and rich, dark earth, there is another hidden world. The forest floor is woven with a tapestry of mycorrhizal networks, where tiny, thread-like fungi connect the roots of different trees. This is a silent, underground conversation, a peaceful community where trees share nutrients and even gentle warnings through these delicate, living threads. It's a way of supporting one another, a quiet cooperation that sustains the entire forest. One tree might send sustenance to a neighbor in need, a gesture of deep, slow kindness that takes place over days and weeks, a reminder of the patience inherent in the natural world. High above the ground, in the canopy layer, there is a floating world of its own. Epiphytes, orchids, and bromeliads grow here, suspended in the air, never touching the fertile earth below. They gather all the moisture they need from the drifting clouds and the soft, filtered light, creating miniature hanging gardens in the crooks of ancient branches. Picture these tiny oases, cupping droplets of rain like precious jewels, providing quiet homes for tiny, luminous frogs and sleeping insects, all nestled in a serene, aerial kingdom where life drifts gently, far from the world we know. And as night deepens, the rainforest transforms into a symphony of gentle, sleepy sounds. The rhythmic hum of cicadas, like a slow, steady heartbeat, pulses through the darkness. The distant, rolling call of a howler monkey echoes from somewhere far away, not a noisy interruption, but a deep, sonorous note that anchors the quiet night. This ambient melody wraps around the jungle like a warm, soft blanket, guiding the forest into a deep, restful slumber. And as you listen, feeling the weight of the day dissolve, you too can feel that quiet embrace, that slow, peaceful descent into a dream, cradled by the ancient, breathing world. Let us drift now, down through the layers of the living world. Deep beneath the forest floor there is a secret. The ancients left a gift in the earth. They called it terra preta, a deep, dark soil, richer than anything nature could make on its own. Thousands of years ago, they mixed charcoal and soft organic matter into the ground. And now, even where the natural soil is thin, lush gardens can still dream their way to the surface, a quiet memory of hands that tended the land so long ago. And in the winding waterways above, a soft pink shape moves through the dim light. The Amazon River dolphin, the boto, glides beneath the canopy. Its gentle color seems almost like a blush against the dark water, with a neck so flexible it can turn and float effortlessly, weaving between the submerged roots of the flooded forest. In local stories, these creatures are magical,
shapeshifters who walk among us under the moonlight, listening to the quiet music of the river. On the water's surface, something else is floating. The giant water lily. Its leaf stretching out, wide and round, up to 10 feet across. It rests there like a peaceful green island. The structure beneath is delicate but strong, a quiet web of veins that can hold the weight of a small child. Imagine just drifting there, feeling the slow, gentle current rock you softly, while the bloom, a pure white flower, opens only at night. And down below, in the quiet shadows of the understory, a tiny architect is at work. The leafcutter ant carries a piece of green, a fragment of a leaf, held high like a sail. It moves in a silent, rhythmic line, a flowing river of green across the forest floor. Deep underground, they are not eating these leaves, but feeding a delicate fungus garden, an entire city, hidden and humming with quiet purpose. A tiny, ancient society that farms in the dark, far, far below even that. The earth holds another river. It is called the Hamza, a hidden stream flowing thousands of feet beneath the surface. It mirrors the great Amazon above, drifting peacefully, very, very slowly, through the ancient bedrock. A silent twin, a deep and quiet pulse, while the world above sleeps under a blanket of stars. High above the solid earth, where the air grows thinner and warm with captured sunlight, the canopy of the rainforest spreads out like a vast shimmering emerald ceiling. It filters the golden light into a million soft green rays, and within this quiet, lofty realm, the forest breathes for the planet. It is a giant, warm lung, gently exhaling a life-giving mist that rises and falls in a slow, planetary rhythm. This single breath, this soft cloud of moisture, sustains millions of unseen species, a hidden world cradled in the arms of the treetops. Deeper now, into the quiet maze of the mangroves where the water is still and the air is thick with the scent of damp earth. Here dwells a truly ancient soul, the Hoatzin bird, often called the stink bird. It carries a gentle, earthy scent, a result of a rare and wonderful digestive system, much like a cow's, that peacefully ferments the leaves it eats. With a spiky crest and a prehistoric gaze, it sits motionless among the soft green riverbanks, a quiet spirit blending perfectly into the dappled shadows. A whisper from another time. Hidden among the tangled vines, a secret unfolds over 2 peaceful nights. The Victoria Amazonica, a flower of immense and delicate beauty. On the first evening it opens as a pure, luminous white, releasing a soft, drifting fragrance into the warm air. This gentle scent is an invitation, a quiet call to the nocturnal beetles who visit its soft petals. And as the second night falls, the flower slowly blushes, transforming into a deep, quiet pink. Having shared its secret, it now rests. This silent, fragrant shift is a slow dance of color and scent, witnessed only by the night. High in the drowsy canopy, there is a sanctuary of stillness, the world of the sloth. This creature moves with such a slow, meditative grace, it's as if time itself softens around them. Each deliberate reach for a branch is a form of quiet contemplation. Their coarse fur, often tinged with a soft green from a gentle ecosystem of algae living within it, is a perfect cloak. They drift through the high foliage with no intention at all, a floating secret, dissolving into the leaves as the sun's last rays fade, leaving only a sense of profound peace. And when the last hint of twilight vanishes, the forest floor does not become a place of total darkness. It softly awakens. A quiet, pale light begins to emanate from the damp earth. These are the bioluminescent fungi, nature's own gentle nightlights. They cast a ghostly, comforting glow on fallen leaves and ancient roots, a starlit garden hidden beneath the great trees. This subtle luminescence doesn't demand attention. It simply exists, guiding the way through the quiet darkness with a stillness deeper than silence. You're still drifting here with me, floating through these quiet green shadows. That's so lovely. You don't have to follow the words, just let the soft glow of the forest floor and the breath of the ancient canopy settle around you. I'll keep whispering these gentle secrets. You can just rest now, as we drift deeper into the sleeping rainforest. Let our thoughts settle like leaves upon still water.
Deep beneath the forest floor, hidden from the soft moonlight above, there flows a vast and silent river. They call it the Hamza, a subterranean waterway winding slowly under the Amazon. It stretches for thousands of miles, nearly as long as the great river itself, yet in places it is so much wider. Spreading out in the darkness like a gentle, buried sea. Imagine water moving through ancient rock, grain by grain, so quiet that the roots of the trees above feel only a faint, cool pulse. The Hamza drifts through the earth's deep layers, carrying its secrets in perfect, unhurried stillness. In the warm, tea-colored waters of the flooded forest, another hidden wonder glides without a sound. The pink river dolphin, the bodo, with a neck so flexible it can turn and weave among the submerged branches. These gentle creatures move like a soft pink thought through the mirrored lagoons. Their color is the blush of a calm sunset, and they navigate the drowned trees with a grace that feels almost like dreaming. The water is still and warm, and the bodo passes through it as if it were air, leaving barely a ripple behind. Long ago, the people of this forest gifted something back to the earth. They created a dark, rich soil, terra preta. Even now, after centuries of quiet rain and falling leaves, this earth remains impossibly fertile. They mixed charcoal with the pale jungle clay, and somehow, the ground began to breathe. In places where the natural soil is thin and tired, the terra preta still holds life, deep and dark and patient. The forest remembers these ancient hands, and it flourishes above their hidden gift, a secret kindness that the land will never forget. Now let your eyes rest on the surface of a lagoon, where the giant water lily floats in perfect peace. Victoria amazonica, its round leaves spread wide, up to 10 feet across, like green plates set upon the water for a sleeping spirit. The edges curl gently upward, cradling the misty air. These pads are strong enough to hold a small child, drifting softly as if cradled in a giant's palm. The water beneath is like a dark mirror, reflecting clouds and stars, and the lily rests there, anchored by a long, quiet stem reaching down into the soft mud. High above, in the emerald canopy where the light filters through in gentle shafts, a curious bird perches in stillness. The Hotsun. It carries a scent like fresh earth and leaves, because inside its body, a slow, natural fermentation is taking place. Much like a cow resting in a meadow, this bird digests the green foliage in a patient, rumbling way. It sits among the treetops, its feathers dappled with faint stripes, and exhales the breath of the forest itself. The scent is not unpleasant. It is simply the smell of life, turning over slowly, in perfect rhythm with the quiet pulse of the canopy. And so the Hotsun rests, a gentle presence among the leaves, as day fades into the soft, enfolding night. Deep within the heart of South America, the Amazon basin rests like a vast green lung, breathing in and out with the rhythm of the sun. It acts as a gentle atmospheric pump, releasing billions of tons of water vapor into the air each day. This soft, invisible mist rises slowly, forming what the people of the land call flying rivers, currents of moisture that drift across the continent. Imagine these quiet rivers in the sky, carrying the memory of the forest to distant hills and valleys, where they fall as soft, life-giving rain. Hidden beneath the dense, quiet foliage, a tiny creature rests on a dew-covered leaf. The glass frog, with skin so translucent you can see its tiny heart beating, a delicate pulse of life. These peaceful amphibians blend seamlessly into the cool, damp air of the understory, their bodies like droplets of water catching the faint light. They remain perfectly still, as if dreaming, hidden in the gentle embrace of the emerald shadows. High above, the canopy layer unfolds as a floating world of its own, a suspended garden where the air is thick with moisture. Here, epiphytes bloom in vibrant, tender colors, gathering water from the drifting clouds. These air plants weave hanging gardens of soft moss and delicate orchids, untethered from the ground, living in the quiet space between earth and sky.
It is a serene, weightless realm where life drifts and settles like a slow, fragrant breath. Down on the forest floor, time moves in a slow, rhythmic procession. Leafcutter ants follow ancient, invisible paths, carrying fragments of greenery in long, orderly lines. They are not simply gathering food. They are tending a peaceful underground garden of fungus, a quiet partnership that sustains their hidden colony. Each tiny piece of leaf becomes part of a cycle of nourishment, a steady, silent rhythm that hums beneath the soil like a soft, forgotten song. As twilight deepens, the rainforest exhales in a slow, rhythmic cycle. The warm air settles, and the scent of jasmine and damp earth rises into the cooling breeze. The sounds of the jungle soften, the calls of birds fade, and the insects tune their chorus to a lower, gentle hum. This steady lullaby wraps the landscape in a quiet embrace as the whole forest breathes together, slowly, peacefully, slipping into the stillness of the night. And somewhere in that vast, ancient green, the flying rivers continue their silent journey, carrying soft rains to sleeping lands. Let us drift now into the heart of the living, breathing forest, where the light falls in golden fragments through a ceiling of leaves. Deep within the canopy, the jaguar moves like a warm shadow, her coat a soft pattern of rosettes that melt into the dappled sunlight. She is a creature of quiet power, and unlike most cats, she loves the water, often slipping into the slow river currents, letting them carry her weightlessly as she drifts, half submerged, to cool her golden fur or to hunt with patient stillness. Imagine her, suspended in the gentle flow, only her eyes and the tips of her ears above the surface, a silent ghost in the green twilight. That same water is the great winding pulse of this world, the Amazon River. It is so vast, so endlessly flowing, that it carries 1/5 of all the fresh water that spills into the oceans of the world. Picture this massive ribbon of life, curving through the misty forest, so wide in places that you cannot see the far shore. It creates a floating realm where pink river dolphins, like blushing dreams, glide through the tributaries veiled in soft vapor. Their gentle arcs barely disturb the surface as they slip through the quiet, tea-colored streams, part of a slow, liquid dance that has flowed for millions of years. Hidden beneath the forest floor, beneath the tangle of roots and fallen leaves, there is a secret older than memory. They are called terra preta, Amazonian dark earths, a rich, deep soil made not by nature alone, but by the careful hands of people long ago. These ancient civilizations gathered charcoal, bone, and broken pottery, mixing them into the earth to create a fertile blanket that still nourishes the forest today. It whispers of a time when large, settled communities lived here, their gardens and homes now sleeping under the green. Walking there, you might feel the quiet presence of those who came before, their wisdom still held in the warm, dark ground. Now let your thoughts rest on the still, mirror-like water of a hidden lagoon where the giant water lily unfurls its enormous leaves. The Victoria Amazonica stretches wide, its circular pads reaching up to 3 meters across, floating like soft green islands on the calm surface. Their undersides are laced with a delicate, strong web of veins, so perfectly balanced that they can hold the weight of a small child, a child lying gently upon the leaf, cradled by the water, gazing up at the drifting clouds. It is a scene of such peace, a cradle of living green that seems almost too gentle to be real. High, high above all this, the canopy spreads like a vast breathing ceiling, sheltering a secret world. Here, bromeliads cling to branches, their petals forming tiny cups that catch the rain. Each one becomes a shimmering reservoir, a miniature sky lake where tiny, jewel-bright frogs spend their whole lives, never once touching the soil below. They sing their soft ancient songs from these floating gardens, cradled in the arms of the trees, as the forest hums a lullaby that has no end. Let that image carry you now into the quiet. The rainforest breathes for the planet, a vast and gentle lung nestled in the heart of South America. Billions of emerald leaves, each one a tiny living brushstroke, engage in a silent and constant exchange of gases. They draw in the warm air and release a soft, life-giving breath that drifts across oceans and continents. This rhythmic exchange creates a planetary heartbeat, a deep and steady pulse that sustains creatures great and small, from the tiniest insect to the largest whale. It's a quiet reminder of the hidden threads that bind all life together in a peaceful, global embrace. In the quiet depths of the jungle, there lives a bird called the hoatzin, sometimes known as the stink bird. It has a most unusual digestive system, slowly fermenting leaves in its crop, like a gentle internal garden. This gives it a soft, earthy scent that drifts through the undergrowth. These birds look like visitors from a forgotten age, with their spiky crests and dark, thoughtful eyes. They glide through the branches with a slow, deliberate grace, echoing a time when the world was younger and quieter. It's as if they carry the memory of millions of years in every careful movement. Many indigenous tribes hold a profound knowledge of the forest's gifts, a wisdom passed down through countless generations. They know the soft barks that can ease a fever, and the fragrant resins that soothe a weary body. This ancestral understanding turns the entire forest into a living pharmacy, where every leaf and root holds a peaceful secret for wellness. Imagine walking through the dappled light, and knowing that the delicate flower at your feet might hold the key to deep healing. It's a gentle harmony, a quiet conversation between the people and the plants that has endured for centuries. The Amazon is home to a breathtaking variety of fungi, including those that glow with a soft, ethereal light. As night falls, these bioluminescent mushrooms cast a tender, ghostly glow on the forest floor. Their shimmering light guides the way through the velvet darkness, like tiny, patient lanterns. It creates a dreamlike atmosphere beneath the trees, where every step is accompanied by a gentle, luminous whisper. These shimmering lights are a soft reminder of the hidden wonders that thrive in the shadows, waiting to be discovered by those who walk slowly and quietly. As evening falls, the rainforest transforms into a symphony of soft, enveloping sounds. The distant call of a howler monkey drifts through the canopy, a deep and mournful note that speaks of ancient territories. The rhythmic hum of cicadas fills the air, a steady, soothing pulse that seems to slow down time itself. This natural lullaby wraps the jungle in a warm, sonic blanket, cradling every creature in its gentle embrace. It guides all life into a deep and restful slumber, a peaceful end to another day in this vast, breathing world. And as you listen, you might feel yourself drifting too, carried on those waves of sound into a place of quiet dreams. Close your eyes and let your mind drift down into the warmth of the earth. Deep beneath the forest floor, a hidden river flows in silence. The Hamza River moves slowly, a vast subterranean current nearly as long as the Amazon itself. Imagine floating there, in that dark, warm stillness, where the water drifts at a pace so soft you could barely feel it. The ancient stone holds you, the roots whisper above, and all is quiet in this hidden vein. Time seems to dissolve into the slow drip of water, a lullaby for the deep. It's the earth's secret, a tranquil twin to the rustling world far overhead. And from the deep earth, let your thoughts rise gently to the amber waters above. There, the pink river dolphin, the bodo, glides with a neck so flexible it weaves between submerged trees. Its delicate clicks of echolocation echo softly through the winding streams, guiding it in the dim light. The dolphin's skin is a pale pink, like a whispered secret of the river, moving in silence among the roots. Its color deepens like a quiet sunset, a soft warmth in the cool water. You can almost feel the gentle current it leaves behind, a fluttering brush of life as it navigates the ancient channels. These waters once nurtured ancient hands, who touched the soil with care. Thousands of years ago, they created terra preta, a dark, rich earth warmed with charcoal and bone. This soil still feeds the forest, a quiet legacy deep in the ground. It remembers the old ones, working softly, turning the earth into abundance that lasts across centuries. Walk your fingers through that dark, crumbly soil and feel the warmth of 1,000 years. The roots drink from this legacy, blooming in a hidden gratitude, carrying the memory of human touch in every leaf. And from that fertile soil, life rises to the surface, where the giant water lily unfurls its leaves like green moons. Victoria Amazonica, its pads can reach 10 feet wide, serene platforms on the still water. On the first night, the blossoms open in a soft white glow, and by the next, they shift to a gentle pink. Imagine lying there on those floating leaves under a quiet sky, watching the flowers breathe their changing colors. The pads are like dreams, sturdy enough to hold a sleeping child, their scent a faint perfume for the night. A transformation so subtle, like a slow painting in the moonlight, cradling the cool air. And high above, in the emerald canopy, another quiet dance unfolds. The three-toed sloth moves with a rhythm so slow, it blends into the leaves. Its fur is a soft greenish world, hosting tiny algae that live in perfect peace. This gentle creature drifts through the foliage, a floating garden in the treetops, where every motion is a lazy breath. The sloth's claws curl around branches with a tender grip, and its slow gaze
Feel the vast green breath of the world, a slow exhale rising as a soft mist. They call them flying rivers, these silent currents of vapor drifting high above the canopy, carrying the forest's gentle gift of rain to distant, thirsty lands. Deep in the leaves, a bird rests in the stillness, the hoatzin. It carries a quiet, earthy scent like ancient damp soil. Inside, a slow fermentation unfolds, a calm, meditative churning of leaves, requiring only patience and the warm, soft stillness of a shaded branch. Beneath the soil, hidden in the dark, quiet warmth, a web of delicate threads connects every root. A silent whisper passes between the oldest guardian trees and the tiniest green shoot, a gentle, unseen act of care, a quiet sharing of ancient life. Twilight settles over the leaves, and a tiny, warm weight finds a perch. The pygmy marmoset, scarcely a whisper of a creature, fluttering through the branches. Soft fur, no heavier than a feather, drifting with a delicate lightness as the world falls asleep. The air hums, a deep, soft symphony embracing you. The distant pulse of invisible wings and the quiet, rhythmic touch of dew upon a leaf. It all weaves together, a warm, living blanket of sound folding over the darkening forest. Sleep now, deep beneath the forest floor. A hidden river moves in the darkness. It is called the Hamza, a wide, slow pulse of water flowing under the Amazon. Imagine the great river above, shimmering in the sun, while its silent twin drifts through the warm, ancient rock. Vast and still, the water travels so quietly through the deep earth, it is almost a dream the planet is having. In the dappled light of the flooded forest, the pink river dolphin glides. They are the Boto, with necks so gentle and flexible, they weave between submerged trunks like a soft thought. Folklore whispers that on moonlit nights, they can step from the water as shapeshifters, their pale, rosy skin shimmering with a secret grace. These creatures float through the legend as easily as they swim, keeping the river's quiet mysteries. Below the tangle of roots, the soil itself holds a memory. It is terra preta, a dark, velvety earth created by hands long gone. This rich ground remains warm and deep, cradling the nutrients of a vanished world. Vast, peaceful cities once breathed here, their gentle laughter now just a soft hum in the fertile soil. On the surface of a hidden lagoon, the giant water lily spreads its enormous pads. Each one is an emerald island, wide enough for a child to sleep upon, floating with perfect stillness. The flowers open slowly, transitioning from white to a tender pink, as if the river itself is exhaling a delicate sigh. They cradle the water's rhythm, an ancient lullaby of the canopy. High in the branches, the three-toed sloth embraces a bough, moving with such meditative slowness, time seems to pause. Its fur becomes a soft green world of its own, tiny moths and delicate algae living in a miniature, drifting ecosystem. The sloth hangs in a dreamlike state, a breathing piece of the rainforest, suspended in quiet camouflage. And so the forest sleeps, wrapped in these hidden endless rhythms. Deep within the Amazon,
The trees themselves breathe water into the sky, a vast silent pump releasing billions of tons of vapor. These become invisible flying rivers, drifting across the continent, carrying soft rain to distant thirsty lands. In the stillness of the branches, the Hoatzin bird rests. Its chicks have tiny claws on their wings, gently climbing through the leaves. A memory of ancient times, they are called stink birds. Their bodies a quiet, slow fermentation, a warm, earthy scent that drifts through the canopy. Beneath the canopy, in the quiet dark, leafcutter ants move in endless, delicate streams. Each one carries a tiny green sail of foliage, a fragment of leaf held softly overhead. They carry it down into hidden chambers, where they farm a silent, white fungus in the cool, still earth. The air itself is alive with a golden haze, a soft shimmer of volatile compounds released by the trees. This quiet mist seeds the clouds, wrapping the forest in a constant, cool humidity, a comforting blanket of moist, warm air. And when night falls, the forest floor glows. Bioluminescent fungi emit a faint, ghostly green light, tiny constellations in the velvet darkness. They drift through the shadows, a gentle guide for the dreaming jungle, a soft, quiet light leading nowhere but deeper into rest. Deep beneath the forest floor, the Xingu River cradles a secret whispered through soil and root, the ghost of garden cities, their wide roads and floating bridges still dreaming in the earth, a civilization that loved the jungle into a home. A pink river dolphin glides through the drowned forest, its flexible neck turning like a slow thought. The elders say the Bodo steps ashore by moonlight, becoming a dancer whose feet never disturb the sleeping water. On the still backwater, a Victoria Amazonica lily spreads its great green plate, 10 feet of quiet strength, enough to hold a child's weight, a cradle of leaf floating like a promise on the glassy surface. The trees exhale an invisible river, billions of tons of vapor rising as one gentle breath, an aerial stream wandering the sky to gift rain to far-off fields, a soft and endless giving. In the cool, dark soil, leafcutter ants carry emerald confetti, tiny sails adrift on a path, farming their hidden fungus, a quiet underground garden where patience blooms in the silence of the earth. Deep in the Amazon basin, the boiling river flows not from volcanic fury but from the earth's gentle inner warmth, its waters shimmering with a soft, rising mist that catches the forest light, steaming quietly as it winds through ancient roots and ferns, a warm vein of life pulsing patiently beneath the green canopy. High above the forest floor, the canopy unfurls like a great green ocean of leaves, filtering the sun into 1,000 shades of emerald, where epiphytes and orchids cling to mossy branches, drawing their sustenance from the drifting clouds and the humid air. A floating world suspended in a perpetual, tranquil twilight, alive with the hush of unseen wings and the slow drip of moisture. In the quiet of the branches sits the Hoatzin bird, a creature from another age, its spiky crest and calm, orange eyes watching the world with prehistoric patience, while its unique stomach slowly ferments the leaves it has eaten, a gentle, internal process that gives it the name stinkbird. But the scent is merely the deep, earthy perfume of time itself, a reminder of nature's unhurried rhythms. Beneath the lush velvet layers of the rainforest lies a secret in the soil, terra preta, the black earth, a rich man-made legacy of ancient peoples who mixed charcoal and bone and pottery shards into the ground centuries ago, creating a dark, fertile blanket that still nourishes the roots of towering trees, holding nutrients and moisture like a memory of human hands that once tended this land in harmony. As dusk surrenders to night, the rainforest transforms into a velvet symphony. Cicadas begin their soft, rhythmic pulse, a gentle heartbeat of the jungle, while far away the melodic call of a howler monkey rolls through the trees like a distant sleepy song, and the air grows warm and heavy, wrapping every leaf and vine in a deep, midnight blue embrace, a lullaby of life that sings you gently toward sleep. And with that, our journey through the hidden secrets of the Amazon comes to a gentle close. Your mind has wandered through emerald light and ancient waters, through the quiet wisdom of birds and the dark, fertile earth. Now it's time to let those images drift away like mist over the boiling river. If these words helped ease you into stillness, a soft like from your pillow would be a quiet gift. And if you subscribe, I'll be here whenever you need a voice to guide you back to this peaceful place. Good night, sleep well, and remember, the rainforest is still breathing softly, even now, holding its secrets in the velvet dark, waiting for you whenever you're ready to return. Rest now, everything is exactly as it should be.